To finish up, we will be writing our own equations, and we've discussed this a few times. If you've watched the previous videos, your general form, y equals, I'm just going to use sine for this, a sine whatever your h value is, it's going to be in your parentheses, x minus h, and k value up and down is going to be outside your parentheses. So we're going to use phase shifts. We're going to see up and down and start to write our own graph. So our first one, y equals sine of x for pi units to the left. So if I'm going to the left, that means that my h value is going to be negative pi, which in the formula means I'm going to have y equals sine of x plus h. So x minus negative h is rewritten as x plus h. So there's a shift pi units to the left. On to the cosine of x when I'm going pi over 2 units down. Down means that I'm dealing with a k value, so I'm going k is going to be negative pi over 2. So here we have our y equals cosine x, nothing in parentheses, there's no h value, but I would just subtract a pi over 2. So there's that graph. Heading down to number 3, 3 units up, that's going to mean that I have a k value of plus 3. So very simply, we got y equals sine x, and no h value, so it's just going to be plus 3. Cosine, 1.5 units to the right, that means that I have an h value of 1.5. Which means now I'm going to have a y equals cosine, and in parentheses, because that's where my h value is going to go, x minus 1.5. And now we're going to put both together for E and F. Since I have a left phase shift, up means my k value, so I'm going to have an h of negative 3, a k of pi. Putting all things together, we're dealing with a cosine here. Not so concerned about that, but we might as well just use it because that's what we want. 3 units to the left means I'm going to have an x plus 3. And remember, anytime I'm using x, if you wanted to use theta, same thing will happen. And pi units up means I'm going plus pi on my y-axis. And to finish up, we'll do a phase shift pi over 2 to the right. So that means my h is pi over 2. And my k is 3.5. And we're dealing with the sine, so y equals my sine. Since it is to the right, pi over 2, we're going to go x minus pi over 2. And since we're going up, that would be a plus k plus 3.5. So there would be our equations then for your phase shift and up and down k shift in both of those. So in general, you have your sine x minus h plus k. H is still moving us left and right, just like it has in all of our functions. K is moving us up and down. So there's our answers for number 5. Hopefully that helps.